I'll look this up.
Okay, all right, so we are now live on YouTube, guys, so I will, and it's past the hour 5:30, so I'm Fran Bastard, Chairperson of the Council on Aging, and I will call this Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 meeting to order. Okay. I will pass over audience sharing because we have none at the moment. For those, excuse me, for those in attendance, have you been able to read or review the October 14th, 2025 meeting minutes? Yes, if there are any concerns or questions? Okay, hearing none, I would accept the motion to approve. So move. Second? Second. Okay, motion by Teresa, second by Stephanie. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that was a unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along to the Friends report. Nick.
Okay, well, be Nick Henry probably. So let me cover a couple of things. We had a very successful Veterans Luncheon again this year. It was really great. The Friends provided quite a bit of sponsorship for the luncheon, as well as we received a special sponsorship from St. Rosalita Parish, which helped us out. Our annual appeal is underway. If you live in Northborough, you received a brochure from us by now. And we are already in the black, not by much, but we're in the black. Hopefully we'll achieve our goal. We try to raise $20,000 every year. We tend to raise between 17 and 18, which is fine. But the more the better, because all the money goes right into the senior center. Our country fair is this weekend on the 22nd. Runs from 10 to 3. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got Grandma's Attic. The room we're in right now will be filled with lots of things to purchase, and the next room over will also be, as well as the area that currently is where the pool tables are. We'll have some really beautiful and very nice raffle baskets. We've got a silent auction for some golf clubs, jewelry card sales during that week, craft tables where vendors have come in and purchased use of the table, and they take home whatever they make, but we get the benefit of a small amount of money for each table. Great bake sale. We typically sell on the bake sale, and of course there'll be lunch. I think you'll be running lunch in the bistro during the entire event.
Can I ask a question in case anyone watches this between now and the 22nd?
Yeah.
Are you still accepting donations for the attic?
Yes, we're still accepting donations, and they can be brought in Thursday afternoon from, I'm going to say,
Probably right.
I think it's like 1 to 4 or so, and then Friday morning from 9 to 12.
Right. Used but usable.
Used but usable, and we like items that are clean, and sometimes we receive some items that we really cannot put it out. Of course, we have to dispose of. Just to let you know that anything that is left over gets donated to Savers and a few other places that can resell them and, in their environment.
Great, thank you.
Well, we also started selling our calendar raffle, which is a January raffle where we pull a name every day. And if you're one of the fortunate people that win, not only do you win your $25 for that day, but your name also goes back in. For the last 3 years that I've been involved in it, we've had multiple winners every year. And if you happen to be the lucky winner on January 31st, you win $250. And it costs $10 per item. And if you want to, after the meeting, you stop by the front desk. I'm sure they have plenty for you. And then just a summary, year to date, we've provided $26,164 for the senior center. And as you know, a vast majority of that is the Northborough Times, but still close to $5,000 worth of program spending.
Can you repeat that, Dr. 26?
26,164. Anything else?
I don't think so. We have some great raffle items. We have gift cards. We have two Santa Claus with scratch tickets on them. We have some alcohol. I can't drink at the senior center, but you can win it. We have a Barbie doll, 2000 special edition Barbie doll. We have we'll have one of Jack Ram's pop art, that big flower. So you
I
can
want
win
it,
that
yeah, I want
again.
it last year.
Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm supposed to get a photograph of it, but, yeah, and, a couple of baskets. There'll be many things, and that's usually very good. Their tickets are $6 for $5. And we do the drawing in that afternoon, and we'll notify you if you're not here. So you don't have to be here for the drawing.
Can I assume you're sitting there selling tickets again this year?
I'm gonna have a helper this year. I'm gonna try to, move somebody to take it over. I have to pick my words carefully. But, yeah, no. And, it is fun. We get a lot of people. The food is great. Vicky usually makes a pilgrim sandwich. I'm not saying that's what she's having this year, but that's usually what you see. Yeah, and that's a great sandwich you make. So it'll be a lot of fun. And Santa Claus is gonna be here, and somebody else too, Carol. Who else is gonna be here? Vicky told me Santa Claus is gonna be here and somebody else. I don't know.
know
who.
if the Grinch.
No, I don't know. I was trying to remember that. She says besides that, we'll have somebody else, and I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Who else was it now?
Maybe I just imagined it.
Rudolph? There's only so many people.
Maybe. Elvis.
Maybe else. No, he was here the other day.
He was also at the Housing
Yeah.
Center last week.
Yeah.
I saw him there. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Any other updates from the friends?
I don't think so. As Nick said, our annual appeal has started. That's how we support the senior center. And the calendar raffle and the country store fair. That's how we raise the money.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on. The director's report. Carol.
So, one thing is we started this week a digital newsletter that we are sending out weekly, called the Northborough Times Update. So often, well, like last month, the newsletter did not arrive on time because the production people couldn't get it out, people weren't getting it. So this way, people can sign up and get a newsletter and have the information of what's going on that week and if anything changed. So I'll send around a copy that we sent out so that people can look at it. For instance, we have a little temporary food pantry that was on there, or reminding people that things are closing up because of the country fair, stuff like that. So that, because we do get a lot of calls about, pass it around.
So
Like
quick
people will
updates.
call up, is my exercise class meeting today? This way they can just get the email.
And how do people get on the email list?
We are going to have, I've got the Lynn all to sign up. I'm gonna have a table up front. Actually, I'm debating. I may do that, but I may, I found out my senior center has a way that we could send it to everybody, and then if people don't want it, we can take them off the list. We might get that one.
Okay. And is this a copy of the actual email?
That's
Okay. Do you think it should have our logo or the senior center, or is that?
the logo was on the email.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
it's not
just
on there. It's not in the document, but it is on the email.
all right, so this is just a quick reminder for people of what's coming up
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
versus the monthly
Yeah.
newsletter.
Beautiful. Yeah.
We're good with the motion? And we'll have to- thank you.
We set up a bulletin board in the other room over there, because that's where the daybreak program meets. Just so people can keep up on caregiver. We get a lot of information for caregivers, but that makes sense. And I've been going to the Mass Council on Aging has a 6 sessions on legal issues pertinent to Council on Aging, which I really enjoyed a lot. I've been to 2 so far, and they just have information that I haven't always thought about. So I'll go to 4 more of those.
I will say I am curious about the session that you took there about the different roles of the board, the friends, and the staff. I mean, if there was anything that you thought would be appropriate to share with us, we're not right now, but so that we make sure that we know what lane we're in and vice versa, that would be helpful.
I'll look at that, yeah, and see if there's something that would be good for the public.
Okay, thank you.
as far as our goals, we've met our intergenerational event goal, and we did look. One of them was to look at the age-friendly community as a possibility, and Jocelyn and I spent some time looking at it, and we think it's a really good program. It also takes a lot of time, so we're thinking to take it slowly. It is something supposed to be an ongoing process, so this next year we're thinking of just identifying people who would want to be on such a committee. It's like a good start. The bistro, as I mentioned, there's a temporary food pantry that people are bringing in donations, and until the issues with SNAP are resolved, and there's a lot of people who've been very grateful about that. The bistro has a negative balance, so $10,000. I'm trying to set up, like, it's going to take time for me to figure out if it comes mostly from lunch, if it's the big events, if it's full, that type of thing. But no matter what, we need to look for some sort of way of funding it because the bistro is just really important. I don't know, are you familiar with the bistro at all?
I've never been, but I read all about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the bistro is town funded now, right?
No,
It funds itself.
it funds itself, but
Okay.
it doesn't fund itself.
Okay,
Basically,
including
it
staff
has to fund itself.
salaries or just the, okay.
Yeah, and that's why it's not working. It just,
Okay.
that doesn't work. So, but it's very central to our operations. I mean, people love having a place to eat, where they socialize, and a lot of people will come to a group and then they want to go to the bistro, yeah, so we're really committed to that.
It's been a while since the pricing. Remember one of the interims,
When Eileen was here, when Eileen was here.
Yeah,
the price increase, so in part, people could be angry at her and not at the next.
I see.
It's a very strategic. Yeah, but I think it's also, the food prices have just gone up so dramatically down. Even what was thought to be a price increase then was to cover current costs, not
Right.
future costs.
yes,
So-
yeah, I mean, I know, it's something we'll consider. We don't want to raise them too much because then people.
But you may have to, they may have to look at the menu and, like you said, some of the big events, those, I don't know if the cost, covers them, but yeah, so
Yeah.
take a look at, that's something that you will take a look at and.
Yeah,
Just let us
then I'm
know.
also
Yeah.
gonna look into other sources of funding.
When you say we're $10,000 before,
Yeah,
is that accumulated over just this year? Or is that?
that's this year, yeah. What it had them do, is it has been accumulated over years, and that's why it was impossible to tell what it was doing, because it had like a negative $50,000, or I don't know what it was. So at the beginning of the year, we zeroed it out. And so to this point in time, it's negative 10,000. Now, I don't know, it could be that like, there was an event, I don't know, like say Veterans Day, I don't think so, but there might be like a couple events where, okay, that was really, we went kind of overboard there, and then over time it will sort of even out a bit. I don't know, I have to wait and see.
Now, fiscal year?
Fiscal year, we're talking since
June.
July. Yeah, July.
How do you pay for future food if you're $10,000?
We have a lot of reserves because the WRTA, up until this year, they're gonna stop after this year, would pay part of my salary and part of Lisa's salary. And that money has just been accumulating and covering other costs. That's basically how the bistro has been able to get by without actually covering the costs all these years. But that's gonna stop at the end of this fiscal year. And so.
Our fiscal year,
26.
so in June of 26, we'll no longer.
Get that
receive-
extra money from the WRTA, so.
We do need to resolve that.
So we need to resolve it, yeah, we need to figure out what, how much it is, what we can do, and how we can address it.
Maybe increase prices for Saturday this week.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, 50 cents.
Yeah.
Would go a long way.
Yeah,
for a
50 cents
volume.
here and there, yeah.
Especially for,
Approximately how many meals do we serve a year? Well, no, how many meals did we serve in those 3 or 4 months, those 4 months?
Well, so if you look at here,
77 is in October.
Yeah.
So if I
So it's
multiply
about
it by 4, would that be like,
if you multiply that by
2,500 we did in the 4
about
months?
that, I think the summer's a little bit slower, but
2,500. So.
And then, but then there's also the evening events,
Yeah.
you know, and whatever, I mean, I'm going to look at all.
Right, just
you
keep us
know, related
informed.
issues, yeah.
And if
One
there's anything-
thing I would look at, this is just my observation, is the size of portions we give. I know that a lot of people don't finish their meals, and my mother
Yeah.
would always say, you don't leave the table till you finish that meal.
We're considering.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, just reduction,
Especially
maybe
something-
just a little bit would help cut back the price a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point.
But for Linda's point, to raise prices for Saturday, I noticed that at the post office, they have signs up, they're actually increasing the rates for the holidays.
Oh, just for the holidays?
Just for the
Well,
holidays.
for certain types of mailing, not regular mail, but
I didn't look at it that, other than I just noticed that they said they are
for certain
increasing.
packages and things like that, they go, not the first class rate.
But since a lot of people that come on Saturday are not the average senior who comes during the week.
Yeah.
Raising the prices for something like that day makes sense, right? I mean, it does, and we also have to, again, factor in that the cost of everything is more expensive now, and it could change, I mean, it could go down again at some point, but.
Not likely,
Yeah.
but.
Needless to say.
Once the price is up, they'll never do it.
Yeah. Back on the Supreme Court, getting rid of the tariffs.
So, programming, we had a great trunk or treat here, it was a lot of fun.
Nice weather too.
It was great weather, yeah. And then we also had nice weather finally for the alpaca
Oh, good.
and owls too, so those
Good.
all, and they were very popular, we'll do some more of those kinds of events.
Mhm.
The dolls and more group, I don't know if anyone saw, we had up for like about 2 weeks, they just took it down, display of they make doll clothes for $100 every year, they buy dolls, $100, and they make doll clothes for $100, and then they donate them to various charities. So they come here every week and they're sewing. And so we made a poster board display and put it up front, which was great because it got them some people donating money, you know, to their cause. And there's also going to be an article in the community outfit about them. The transportation's going fine. We got some books coming up in the carport from the trail committee, which was very nice for them to do that. Outreach. Yeah, Celeste, I don't know if anyone knew Celeste, but I like Celeste. She got reassigned, so now we have Karen, who's also very nice. She switched days, so people are kind of getting used to that.
Oh, she's on Tuesdays and Thursdays now, so Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. We finished the solo aging program, which was really super successful, 6 weeks of presentations and discussions. We're planning on doing a second session, and that's going to be in the evening, and it's going to be by Zoom. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pause for a moment because we have signed it. You have been signed out because you're currently signed in on another device.
I'll just put okay. I think it should be okay.
It looks like it's,
Is
is the
it still
recording
recording?
button? It looks like it's recording.
It's still recording, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So we're doing the second session of it, and it's going to be aimed more at people who either can't get to the senior center or who maybe are still working sometimes or whatever. We're going to see how that goes, just to kind of reach out to that population. And we also talked to the woman who ran the program today, and she's planning on sort of organizing a system where you could basically take all the documentation and program yourself. So we may do that because it's very popular, obviously, you know, preparing for each and preparing.
You know, one of the recommendations is for folks to really think about developing a social network. Do you think there's an opportunity for the group itself to form some social networking with each other?
I think so. I think from this group, there are definitely some people who, you know, got to know each other. And we're going to continue to meet once a month with this group.
Nice.
And they wanted to have it at 11 o'clock so that they could go to lunch together afterwards.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a success, yeah.
That'll be harder to do virtually with, but maybe people can be
But still,
folded in or whatever.
You never know. They could still meet, you know, in the evening or when they're available. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Social network is so
important. So
Yeah.
important. Good. Jocelyn, if you want me to read Jocelyn's report.
Sure.
Okay. Report from Jocelyn Earhart. The guide model is a program being piloted by Medicare. It is a comprehensive and coordinated method of service delivery for people with a dementia diagnosis and, if applicable, their care partners. Many organizations across the country are participating. Services, especially care navigation, can be provided virtually. Medicare A and B members with a diagnosis of dementia are eligible to enroll. The primary point of contact in most instances is a care navigator. The care navigator implements and troubleshoots the care recipient's individualized service or care plan, including identifying new resource options and establishing regular contact. An initial participant assessment helps to inform the care plan, a work in progress. The cost of services specified in the care plan, potentially in-home services, attendance at an adult day program, physical therapy, medication, reconciliation, and more, are covered by Medicare. The guide model also allows $2,500 annually for care partner respite. The guide model is enrolling participants now. There are a few Massachusetts organizations offering the guide model. Northborough does not fall into their service area. We have determined that residents in our region can receive services through out-of-state organizations offering the program virtually.
Interesting. So do we think that, because this is a nationwide, so people in Northborough can try to access it outside of Northborough, but not within the Massachusetts that we're at?
There's like partners who do it, and the Massachusetts partners are just serving small areas.
But it's
whatever.
piloted, so it is
It's a
possible
pilot.
to expand.
Yeah. So that's great. Springwell, they're ending their hospital to home program. Just that. They had like a program where they had on-site staff member who helped people navigate their return home and do Wellesley Hospital. It's a new type of service, I believe, and not that long, and I think the home is expanding, but it's being closed. And I did check with Springwell to see if they might have some funds for the youth program. They do not. So that's
Thank you. And you did touch a little bit on the budget in that you have to look at for the bistro and such. Has there been any updates from town hall about how we're proceeding with our budget process? I know there's a lot of balls in the air.
there's a lot of balls in the air. I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to have a meeting at some point to discuss our budget, just with Stephanie and Jason.
Sure.
Diane.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I
No,
mean,
no,
there's
no.
nothing sure. It's all up in the air.
We'll check. Anybody have any questions for Carol or comments on her updates? So we are, so now we're at the strategic planning. Everybody, the council members had received some core value words and descriptions that, at the suggestion of our last meeting, I went and asked our friends at AI to help me come up with them. And there are a lot of different options, and I didn't want to overwhelm, but I didn't want to underwhelm as well. So this was a grouping of 10 different combined terms, and then descriptions on what they would mean. Somebody actually asked me, were we looking for the core values for the senior center from the participant standpoint or from the center standpoint of the town? And I said that I believe that our process is about, this is what we as the Council on Aging advisory to the staff of the senior center believe this building and the services that it provides, these are the core values of that. So they're not necessarily our core values, they're the ones, but they are the ones that we hope that we provide services and programs to support them.
It would be our core values.
Right, the advisory council and the staff of the
That you
senior
just said
center.
it wouldn't be necessarily our core values.
Oh, no, not from the participant standpoint, from the giver, not the receiver. Sorry.
And how many are we supposed to say?
So I said 3, just because, there's no set rule. Oh, there we go. Hey, how's it going, guys? Good. Oh, we got the boring stuff. Oh, taken care of before you got here.
I'm very late. We can just skip that.
Right, we were just, don't take your time, we were just talking about the fact that I had sent out the 10 thoughts on core values. I don't know if you didn't bring, I know that Vicky usually has it on your laptop, but. you want to- Okay.
Okay, that was good.
And so I did very similar to what we did last time at Vicky's suggestion. I just put 1 through 10 up there. And I figured that we would just put our X's on those lines and then see what we come up with. There's no set fast rule that it has to only be 3. I just tried to see whether we have consensus. When I went to the different councils on aging and senior center websites across the Commonwealth, it's a variety. Everybody has their own little way of representing their core values. I don't know exactly where these will sit on our literature, but we want to include their thoughts in our strategic plan. So. I did only because I thought one of them would be a no-brainer, but since Carol and I didn't have any of the same 3, maybe that's so. All right, so I'm just going to start this so that I can tell you that there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if somebody else wants to give me theirs. I'll start step. Oh, good. So
3, 5, and 10.
Steph.
1, 3, and 2.
2, 4, 6.
Okay, and Carol.
I had 2, 5,
I
6.
think,
Okay, 2, 5, 6 is Linda. Vicky.
2, 5, 10.
And Carol.
I decided to change a bit, like
Okay.
1, 4, and 6.
So it's interesting because I said that I thought 6 and 10 were very similar. They just are worded slightly different. So I think it's interesting that, they, together. Right,
It's a different, slightly different angle.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
is.
yeah.
One of the things that I actually pulled out our mission statement and I was trying to think, oh, well, I should maybe try to mirror our mission statement, but then I decided this was talking about core values. So it felt to me like, oh, that was something different than what our mission really was. So that's kind of why I chose the things I chose, because I thought some of the other things were really important, but it wasn't, I almost wanted to read something that said as a value statement, this is what you should focus on as opposed to mission statement,
Right, well, our core values should help us meet our mission statement, right? Should it help us
act or
Right, right.
Right.
Should
So
help us-
it just, it seems different than actions, so to speak,
And I
Values,
thought number 1 was gonna get everybody, but
values, and if you live them, that becomes behavior, that forms culture. So what kind of, if you want to go backwards, what kind of culture do you want? So where do you start with your values?
so that encapsulates it. It felt like that's what I was focusing on more on, what actions. All right, what are our big.
So we have this one here, it's definitely gonna be included for inclusion and belonging, create a welcoming environment that celebrates diversity and ensures all seniors feel valued and included regardless of background, ability, or identity.
That one's actually very close to 6.
Yeah.
I think also.
Then I thought it was close to 3.
Well, because it's like connection, I mean, belonging also has to do with connection.
Inclusion is a way, I mean, everybody's about include diversity and inclusion. And inclusion is a very common way in which people now say they want
Modern,
Yeah.
wording of belonging.
to belong. Yeah.
Both of inclusion and
belonging.
Right. So at least we know the ones were, any of you guys have any thoughts? Or did you want the next?
I'm just looking at it for the first time.
Okay,
I like all. Part of the problem is-
Sure, right,
is that they're all,
Right. right. But when you're
So if
talking
you
about,
change their mind.
right, but I guess when you're talking about core, there should be. Similar to, I was at a meeting once when somebody said, what is your priority? And somebody said, well, it depends. And they go, no, you have to have a number one priority. I don't know if Teresa remembers that meeting. Right, so at some point, what, you can want all these things, these can be values that you have, but what are the core values?
yeah, I think 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4. But I,
Even 1 and 2 have something that's similar because because they have, number 1, if you have the respect for life experiences, choices, and individuality, that definitely has something to do with inclusion and belonging.
Right. I like the idea that what Teresa said, inclusion is a very modern term for all this. I like using that. I mean, so the fact that it got them the most, I mean, do we want to like really zero in on that being one of our core values is. They certainly can. They didn't get the email ahead of time.
1, 4, and 10.
1, 4, 10.
And I think 7 and 10 are very similar.
I like the concept of collaboration and partnership that comes out in 10. So again, it's what culture are we creating, right? And that idea of bringing in others in the community, others in the town, government, leadership, other family members of seniors. I like that concept.
Yeah, and again, sometimes the words like compassionate service don't grab me as much as what they're using as defining it. Provide caring, attentive services to seniors and their families with genuine compassion and understanding. Of course, that's something that I value.
For me, that sounded like a nursing.
Yeah. Compassion, I think, nursing home, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
getting out of that kind of,
I
we
think,
have to
yeah,
take care of seniors,
Yes.
mentality is really important.
I think so too. That I think is so
That
natural.
was just too,
That like
you know,
taking care of you, it's okay to hear that, yeah.
like, look at what culture are we trying to create? Because the mission statement is telling us what we want to do. The mission statement already does say, that we want to advocate for support through programs, services, foster well-being, independence, quality of life. So I didn't feel like we needed to really reiterate too much in our values, but we're our mission.
So what about
Who's
one?
your customer though? Who is your customer? The seniors, right?
Yeah.
That's the only customer the senior center has. We don't care about the politicians, we don't care about anything else.
No,
They're serving the seniors in Northborough.
yes, but to effectively serve the seniors, collaboration is probably a good path to follow. And that's what I like setting that as part of our culture. Because if we want to serve the seniors, if we could have good collaboration with those in our town administration or with the family members, others in the community, businesses, it will be to the seniors' benefit.
That's correct. Well, because again, when you look at seniors, and again, from the age of 60 to 100, there's no other cohort out there that we would lump 40-year age range into. My 15-year-old doesn't hang around with a 45-year-old, right? I mean, it's crazy that they're all. So we do need to look at it bigger than like a senior is a big range of people.
Although you can also say that the majority of the people are in the
61
70s and
and
80s.
88. Yeah, right, yeah.
Everybody in town knows.
Oh, yeah, well,
I
when
don't care.
I went to play miniature golf with my mother and I asked if there was a senior discount, and the woman said, yes, my mother goes, well, she doesn't mean you. I go, oh, I'm taking the discount. She doesn't mean just you, right? So, all right, so, from just look, and again, we don't have to stick with only 3, but respect and dignity, inclusion and belonging, collaboration and partnership. That's an so respect and dignity to me is me. Inclusion and belonging is me with you, and collaboration and partnership is bigger than that. That's almost like a building block.
I'm happy to move my 6 vote down to 10.
Okay. All right,
Which would make it more clear.
all right, so, yeah, so,
Yeah, I like that.
so
I-
1, 2, and 10.
I think 1 and 2 is like.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know one and
okay,
two
yeah.
are very similar.
Okay,
I don't think they are at all.
all right, so,
Because I think what I really like about one is the respect for people's life experiences and choices and individuality. Because you do run into people who are really difficult and who choose things that you think fly on earth. And you have to have respect for that.
Right,
You really do,
then-
and I think that's so important.
right, and then you have to create a welcoming environment for them.
Yeah,
Which
how does
is
that,
inclusion and belonging.
yeah, and you're ensuring all seniors feel valued, no matter, and included, regardless of background, ability, or identity. So identity is what they're, how they're choosing to live.
Yeah.
Feels the same.
I guess I was inferring that I completely understand your point, Carol. I think I was coming at it from creating a welcoming environment was implying a sort of, kindness, empathy, respect, but maybe it's overstretching.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to respect the individual in order to include them and have a welcoming environment. You have to then be open to, any type of person or.
So we're stuck on whether we include both 1 and 2. Should we?
Right, well, so we're all set on 10, definitely coming. If we only did 1 or 2, what other? No, we don't have to have 3, I just thought 3 made sense, like the 6 words.
I also liked 5 because so much of what we do are classes.
Mhm. Mhm. All right,
Put it on here.
all right, so if we did 5, which 1 or 2 blends nicely into 5 and 10? Because again, 10 is going outside of the person who comes to the center and working with the bigger community. 5 to me is more of an action step than a value, but I mean, it's what we do, not why we do it. But, I mean, I'm fine with it because lifelong learning and growth is important. So
You
then
could almost
my-
combine, you could almost
Yeah.
combine 4 and 5 into a core value, health, well-being, and lifelong learning. I mean,
Yeah.
they naturally flow together,
Yeah, I agree.
as I read
Yes.
it.
And then, yeah,
4 and 5 just seem to flow together.
health and well-being and with
Lifelong
lifelong
learning.
learning, okay.
4 plus 5, 6 plus 10, they're all
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
All right, so
I mean, I could go with the inclusion, belonging, and skip the respect and dignity if it mentions respect for people's choices. I think that's,
so then we're combining 1 and 2, combining 4 and 5, and then doing 10.
yeah, I bet I would do that.
All right, yeah, I mean, I
Well,
don't
you
think,
could just have create a welcoming environment that celebrates diversity, respects seniors' life choices, and ensures all seniors feel powerful. Just add that. phrase.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And it also depends on how this is going to be, I mean, within the strategic plan, it can be a narrative, but if we wanted to actually list our core values on something, it would be a shorter version. All right, so a blend of 1 and 2, 4 and 5, and then 10.
Yeah.
Does that sound right to
Yep.
everybody?
Yep.
All right, I will entertain a motion to accept these as our core values for our strategic plan and moving forward.
How will, I guess from a minutes perspective, I can say, combine 1 and 2, 4 and 5, with 10, but I don't necessarily have final wording that you want me to document. I suggested an edit or 2 to add this phrase, respect for seniors' life experiences after celebrates diversity, and then
Respect,
so, all right, create a welcoming environment, celebrates diversity, respect senior life, respect seniors for their life experiences and choices, and this and struggling, a lot of people, it can't be too, I would.
right,
I mean, we could wordsmith this after the fact.
Yeah.
right, so why don't we do
I
this?
mean,
Okay, for our core values, what I'm looking for a motion and a vote on, our core values are respect and dignity, inclusion and belonging, health, well-being, and lifelong learning, with collaboration and partnership. Those are our core values.
I move to accept those as our core values.
I second. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. For our next meeting, I will have the descriptions of those for us to just review and work.
If you wanna send them out ahead of time, we can do that.
Yeah.
The meeting, we can use, how's that sound?
You can individually send me feedback, and then I can, bring it to the meeting for us during open meeting to discuss it. Okay. Is that good, Linda?
I just didn't know what I was talking.
No, that's, I appreciate you too for giving that to us. Okay. All right. Want to make sure there's nothing that. All right, so now I'm going to turn the meeting over to Teresa and ask her what is our next step on discuss, continued discussion on the process. We're just doing little bite-sized pieces here.
Right. I think we said the next step is going to be our community listening or identifying some big focal points and getting experts in here to talk about trends in the industry. Grabbing my notes.
All right, well, while you're waiting for your notes, I'm just going to bounce back to Carol for a minute. Carol did actually had Joan.
Oh, Joe Frank.
Joan Frank, who we had thought was our liaison from the schools, actually came and met with Carol unprompted, to say that she was interested in still collaborating with us in some form and getting clarification as to whether we do or do not have a liaison from the school committee, right? Yeah. Do we? Do we?
We do, well, we have two now. We have one for each school, one for
One
the, like,
for
the
each
lower
grade.
school, one for the.
Do we still have a liaison from our board of select?
We did.
We do, yes.
I thought he would be coming to
Who
this.
is that?
Jacob Jones, he is the appointed member of the select board who took the seat from when Lisa Maselli stepped down before her term was up.
When would he start being our liaison?
He has been since May.
He didn't know, he thought it was
Yeah.
someone else. They
Yeah.
switched all the liaisons to the
Yeah.
different boards. and they thought he
Somewhere
was
in
on
the
a
May or
different board.
June meetings, they got reassignments, so he
I
is.
talked to him and he plans on coming.
Has
I
he
thought he
been,
might come tonight, but.
has he been to any meetings?
Not yet, no.
No.
No, and so far, other than one, we've been able to be recorded, so at least he knows what we're doing.
I think the next we had scheduled for November was environmental scan and community input. So that was an internal assessment and an external assessment going in November to December. So that was review the current programs, services, staffing, facilities, and budget. And then do a SWOT or SOAR analysis.
Not all tonight.
You asked for next steps.
Just once.
And then,
Really,
yeah, look at utilization trends of the facility and participation data among town seniors. I mean, one of the things we know is trending is that the cost of food is up,
right?
and the price has been held steady, so there's
Yeah.
something to look at.
We can also look at the
That's part of your
cost of
scan.
living increase and its inability to keep up with the increased cost of Medicare and healthcare. But from an internal environmental, I mean, so we're really not in control of our budget discussion, right? Because that's something that Carol has to work on with town staff. I mean, with,
But we're looking at current programs, services, and staffing, not future.
okay,
And then the next would be external, like what are the demographic trends for our population? And you were going to collect that data. Percentage of the population who are seniors, what are the age ranges? These were just suggested things we can have. Do they live in seniors live in certain places in town? What's the tax base of seniors, we said. So we're essentially benchmarking as well against perhaps other towns, see where we stand. And what I think what that might lead into for budget, although we know budgets are a hard thing, is just to identify that, let's say 25% of Northborough qualify as seniors. If Westboro is at 15%, but they are funded at a higher rate than we are. Wouldn't that perhaps suggest that we're underfunded or something like that?
Right.
Or if we look at area towns that are comparable population wise.
And that was.
Then you have facts on your side to go in
Right.
and say, you may still not get the budget, but at least you.
I did get from the town clerk that according to the most recent census, the residents over the age of 60 is 4,342.
That's over 25%.
Residents over 65 are
Yeah.
3,159. Because I just, it depends on what you look at when you something over 60 or over 65.
What's our total population?
Oh, it's like 15,000 something, almost 16,000. If you're interested, there are 1,844 dogs licensed in Northborough.
There's more seniors than dogs.
1,844.
That's
Well,
right.
we spend more money on that. Yeah, well, I think we spend more money on this building than we did the dog park, but there's also 2,241 children under the age of 18. So that's kind of like school age, even though I didn't have them cut out the under fives, there's 400 of them. They are potential. So, we're similar in size. And of course, we are the largest voting bloc.
Over 60 and over 20%. If you want a population of 16,000.
Yeah, right.
If you go 16,000, it's 20% just for this over 65s.
Right. And then just look at that, take out the under 18 years old, and you see that we are a large voting bloc. We're about 40% of the voting bloc.
Should be afraid of us.
It's interesting to try to think of what statistic would be useful. One that might be interesting is spending per senior. You know,
Right.
I can tell you that 7/10 of a penny for the seniors.
In,
So
On
in the
$1,
operating
on a
budget.
dollar, we get
Yeah.
7/10 of a penny.
Yeah.
The library gets 1.9 cents. The schools get 59 cents.
so it's interesting, and if we compared that to other towns, you know, how does that work?
Other towns, most of the other towns get about 2 to 3, maybe 4 cents per senior.
Yeah, so that's pretty.
3 to 4
extraordinary.
times what our budget is. I've been tracking this for a number of
Yeah.
years, and I have presented it to the selectmen, to the town administrators. So they've known these numbers, or they should know these numbers for the last few years.
And regarding comparing ourselves to other towns and how they're staffed and their budget, everything, there's already a spreadsheet that shows that.
Well, Henry,
That's my
yeah,
That's right.
it probably needs some updating.
Oh, I'm
but
sure it
yeah,
does,
Yeah.
but I mean,
right,
it's
yeah.
a long-standing issue.
Right,
It's not really.
Yeah, no,
right,
in
well, it's not uncommon anywhere,
fact, our budget's been going down. But
in percentage.
in percentage,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think, Henry, you know, I have heard you update these numbers for many years. I think what's important now is maybe there's a group that can advocate with you as opposed to you doing it solo. You know, because for many years you were kind of that voice of wilderness saying, look at this. And, you know, just.
And when I
others in our
presented,
history-
everybody is sympathetic, and that's about as far as it goes.
Right. So, well, different leadership.
What if we had a campaign that went beyond?
Well, I think what was just said, that we are 45% of the voting bloc.
40%.
But we don't vote as a block. A lot of people will not, a lot of seniors do not go to the town meeting because it's after dark, it's too late, and it's too long. Okay,
But I mean,
You vote for candidates,
understand that.
yeah.
but not for, it's basically the taxation.
And the candidates are very sympathetic to us until they get elected.
And then they tax us.
Well, I think that as we're developing our strategic plan and we put these things in writing and then we share our draft copies and our notes as we move forward with our elected officials, that, I mean, all we can do is try to be the squeakiest wheel, because we've got to get the grease.
Is there anything we can do to encourage our segment to vote? I mean, when the elections come up, anything we can put on or do or say here to encourage them, yeah.
Right,
But though you'd also have to have some format that makes clear what the candidates were running, stand on different things.
or you're talking about separate from that.
I'm just saying, inform the population that you serve about the facts about their tax dollars, my tax dollar, now that I'm a senior, is 7/10
Well, Penny,
of a penny, is going here, a place I care about. I wish it was more.
and that includes just
It changes my, I think,
that 7/10 of a penny includes paying off the loan to build this building.
Oh, it does?
It does, yes, it does. I
Well, that's
included
not
that,
all the money that we're spending.
I included that just so somebody wouldn't say, well, we're paying off a building, but that includes the 7/10 in the 7/10.
When is the building paid off? It's soon, I mean. it's-
Yeah,
it's not
it's-
gonna-
2030, I think.
2030, so we have
2030.
5 more years.
but to share the facts with the constituency that it matters to seems the most direct route. They can make up their minds from
That's
there,
right,
but
yeah.
we have to share the information.
But I think saying, well, we should vote to put more money towards the senior center, that is not a compelling enough argument, because if they look at other ways that the town, I care about the fire department, I know what that means, I care about the police department, I know what that means, I need to have my kids educated, I know what that means. Okay, what does it mean to have more money in the senior center? It seems to be doing well, I mean, I go there for lunch, I lights always on, seems clean, we need to have the argument as to why we need the money and what we're gonna do with it in order for them to feel willing to allocate more funds there.
Right, but we can be a conduit of information for people so that they can make those kind of decisions. I don't think we can run a campaign for
No.
voting for
No,
No,
or against
we
it.
have to
I'm not
say,
suggesting that.
at this level of
Campaign of
funding,
information.
here's what's at risk. And with more funding, here's what you benefit from. As we know, not really, if you look at the number of seniors in town, what percentage actually take advantage of the senior center?
That's something
A
else we
small
have to.
percentage, yeah.
And it's a small percentage. It doesn't matter if we have 20% of the population, because maybe only 5% really are paying attention. to
That's
seniors.
something we have to document
So
too.
these are those things that feed into
Yeah,
being able
yeah,
to get
yeah.
Carol can tell how many different people come to the senior center, providing they sign in.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and some sort of report.
And it's not only people coming here for classes, it's the hookup with Shine and
Right.
advisors and all sorts of things that,
People in crisis.
things
Yeah.
that Jocelyn does
Right.
to help people in desperate situations.
Right.
I mean, where are they gonna go if our budget is further cut and we can't offer this kind
Right.
of?
Well, I think that data is captured, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, that data is captured, but I think,
But sharing it beyond the walls or beyond the people that already show up here, because I'll just tell you my own situation is I turned 61 and suddenly I'm like, oh, that's closer to retirement. I have to start planning for my future. I'm glad there's a resource in town like this. I'm glad I'm on this board so I understand it. I'm glad I've been on this board so I understand what to prepare for aging. Most people my age probably are thinking about it but don't understand deeply what goes on here and what, if I stay in town, how I can have a community, I can get a low-cost meal perhaps, if I desire that. I can go to programs, get, intellectually
lifelong,
stimulated,
lifelong.
have community, right? If you're feeling isolated in any way. If we start to educate people about that on a deeper level, in any way, shape, or form we can create, it takes a lot of repeating for it to sink in. But if we think through a campaign that continues to just drop those pennies on people's heads over time, what we're doing now is relying on the Friends Senior Center to fund what the town probably should be funding in the first place. Thank goodness for them, right? But if that went away, we'd be in serious trouble. You'd have no program, right?
Yeah.
That's what's at the threat, right?
Yeah.
Not the building itself, not the staff probably. We'd leave all that in place, but you'd be doing that. They pay for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
that-
yeah, it was just.
Yeah.
Even at a federal. Not for There's a lot of
That does
risk,
now.
there's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
To your point, yeah.
So is
That
the
goes-
town contingency planning on, for anything like that? You own a building. If the building is just a building and no programming, what is it?
Well,
That's
and
what
that-
they've done.
Yeah.
They create a building with no money to support programming. in it.
Just
But that
stuff,
goes
yeah.
back to, I don't remember who it was that said it was at one of our last meetings where we talked about who are those constituents. I mean, how do we reach the non-participants, the younger seniors, the ones at the bottom, you know, the first 2 decades of a senior versus the second 2 decades. And you can't do that with the current staffing and the current programming because the majority of them are still working people and don't identify with a senior center. I mean, I know that's
Because
Holliston
we don't
just,
have beds.
right, the Holliston Senior Center, their Council on Aging they just changed, they dropped senior, they call themselves the Holliston Center now, hoping that that will make people realize anyone can come there, or, you know, the programs are open to, it's not meant for this, you know, the young families, it's meant for that 55 or 60-year-old that had the good fortune of being able to, you know, scale back their work early or, you know, wanted to find a program at night. So they're trying to offer programming beyond their Wednesday lunch that the older seniors still participate in, trying to expand them. But we can't do that if our budget is, you know, fraction of a penny on the big budget, or if it remains in that $300,000 price range that it's in right now, right? But we're in a fiscal, you know, environment right now that's not going to happen. But that doesn't mean that our strategic plan should not say that's what we're striving for, right? Because even if it is dependent on the Friends to provide us with the funding to do programming, we're committed to that programming, we're committed to that outreach and that environment that's going to bring in more people.
I wonder if we could just do handouts, something with a big headline like, did you know? And then just a few, you know, 5 facts about what we're talking about. And get around the cafeteria, you know, put one up on the columns.
But those people are already here.
Yeah, you need to get the people that are.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna vote.
Right, I mean, there's nothing to vote, there's nothing to vote on, right?
But I mean, later on, right, it's getting close to it.
Right, but if we wanted people to see the value of the senior center beyond those who already know it, they are in it. You're talking about the school age, the parents of school age kids. I mean, they could have parents who are currently going to their centers in their town. They could be the 50-year-olds whose kids are about to go off to college and
I don't think 50-year-olds are thinking about senior living.
right,
I mean,
right.
I started thinking about that my 6 eyes, honestly.
But we want them to think about how important it is to the people who
I think that scopes too big. I think target your audience and you have an information campaign on that. You know who those people are. You can identify those people, yeah. And just like anything, it's a communications, public relations campaign, but targeted at a certain population.
I have no money though, how can we do that? That's what I was trying to work around.
They have, often, Mass Council on Aging has different grants, and one of them usually is for like spreading the word about your senior center in the general terms or whatever. So if we could come up with, you know, some idea of what we want to promote, I can apply for a grant.
Yeah, so not
But
all
I
media is
agree.
paid either. You
Right.
could be
Yeah, not all-
on social
yeah,
media,
yeah.
Yeah.
you can be articles in
Yeah.
the local
Right,
media.
right, and
We
then
have to have a plan and be coherent about it.
your
But I
weekly
agree with
newsletter,
that.
you should ask if you can get it on the civic, whatever the website is, within the town website, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
place where you can check off what newsletters you want electronically,
Yeah, do that.
right?
Yeah.
You can check off what committees, boards and committees, all their agendas and minutes, and any announcements.
I agree with Teresa though about like targeting your audience to a certain, not everybody, because it's enough, I think, that the people in the 50s see things and are aware of it. So by the time they're 60, they're starting to be more like, okay, yeah, actually maybe this is something for me.
Fair enough.
I also think we do need to go through I feel like we're jumping to the end and we have to go through the process. Because I think we already know a lot that we need to document. I mean, remember discussion one meeting where we have no more capacity for exercise classes. That they sell out and the scheduling is maximum building. That
There's
needs to
still
be
some
written.
room, there's still some room.
Okay, so maybe things have changed, but I feel like that
There was
needs to
some
be
sold out.
documented and written down, where we're kind of jumping to, well, okay, we're gonna educate everybody. Well, I think there's some, probably some real telling statistics and some telling, you know, messages coming out of what we already know. And I feel like we gotta figure what those are. Because I don't think we wanna do information overload. We wanna be very strategic.
No, and it's gotta be a certain amount, it's gotta be fed to them over a long period of time, I think. You can't give them a 20-page document and say, please read this.
Okay, so I just wanted to just circle back to the actual strategic plan versus strategic plan A.
That goes to the internal assessment.
Right, so in
That's
the
the
internal,
favorite,
right,
internal assessment.
right, in the internal assessment,
And we said we would have some sort of longer meeting at some point where we would do some SWOT analysis. But first, we need to review the programs, the current program services, staffing, facilities,
which I think we can,
budget and date.
okay, so we can definitely, as far as right now, staffing, we know we're staffing, current staffing is 2 full-time people and,
No, 3 full-time and 1 part-time. Well, it depends, and also the driver considered part-time if you can.
yeah, well,
Cheryl.
yeah, so that's 3 part-time people.
Should we count all the drivers? No, there's what,
Yeah, well,
5 drivers? And then there's 2 people in the cut.
Do they
Okay,
staff
these
this
trucks.
building? Or are they really staffing transportation?
they're
Just
just,
traffic transportation. So they don't come against the senior center.
right,
And they're not paid by the town. That's.
Well, the only ones that are, if you go by paid by the town, you have the 3 full-time people, and that's it. That's what's paid by the town.
right, well, the formula grant that is, that we get from the state is required, I mean, that pays for 1 staff person, right? The formula.
That is paying for, I just put Linda under that, so that's paying for Linda. And then we have also Mimi, who is a contractor.
I think it's important to show how many staff people we have, regardless of where they're funded, to show we're already thinking out, we're beyond the town. We have 5 drivers that are being by WRTA. We have 2 part-time people in the bistro who hopefully will be funded by the bistro. We have 1 by the formula grant, and then we have the pittance by the town.
But it's an easy take.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that they all need to be represented because that shows how much it takes to do what we're currently doing over and above what the town budget provides for us. Right, that's the,
Yeah, you're looking at your staff, but you're also looking at sources for paying for that staff.
Yeah. That's
And
what
the
it's-
threat is any one of those sources goes away.
Yeah.
Right? If
Yeah.
they go away, there goes programming.
So we need the town to jump in.
If the grant goes away, there goes 1 staff person. So
Right.
codifying all of that, even for yourselves, us, to know.
And it goes to span of control, Carol, but we like your supervisor too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the library has 3 full-time equivalents, and I don't know, like, versus, versus our piecemeal funded staff, it's still good to supervise and, direct. So I think there's value to document.
All right, so, for our next meeting, we're going to have a table that shows the actual staffing components that includes both full and part-time and their funding sources. Okay,
And then we said current programs and services.
so just a, just
Current
a,
program.
just the lit, and, I would go
Chunk
with,
those into like what types of programming, how many,
right,
how often, like if you count
right,
something.
some are
like-
ongoing and some are one.
Like say you have a category of wellness. How many do you do? How often? That kind of stuff. Make it easy to understand and under the categories.
And then you can just do monthly special event, I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Special event can be its own.
Right,
category.
right, it doesn't have to be what was the special event, but we can.
And
Unless
those
it
will
falls into
probably go
wellness.
away if we don't have the funding to cover Tuesday long days.
And noting whatever the cost for each of these programs, not each of the programs, but meaning we charge any money for each of these programs.
Are they self-funded or
Are they self-funded?
are they free or they come back to the friend, right? And that then is,
And that shows a scope, right?
Right.
It shows like,
What
here's
we're
everything
doing.
we do. Here's how we pay for it. Here's what we charge seniors, if any. And here are the threats. If this goes away, that goes away. Or if the cost of living goes up, seniors can't pay for the programming, then you have a building with nothing going on.
Just to give you an example, the Northborough Times, which we mail out, not 1 cent of the town's money is paid for that.
There's another.
Okay?
Yeah.
If the Friends could not raise money, that would have to go away.
Oh, can you give us an update on that? On that,
The whole thing.
right,
My
on,
wife signed the contract.
so, all right, so can you just, I mean, give us just an update? I know that the newsletter, you're going to try doing it by subscription. Are we
Wait,
still?
can I go back to
Changing
current
topic.
program and services? I guess, you know, one of the things that Tracy said was utilization. So I think it'd be interesting to also see the volume of participation in some of the things,
Yeah,
not
right.
just list them
Yes.
as the funding source, but also, you know, the utilization.
Okay.
So,
All right, so a list of programs and services, including utilization, the cost and who pays, whether it's the participant, a grant, or the friends, or the whatever. Okay. All right. Since one of those services is the monthly newsletter, can you just give us an update? Are you still on target for doing it by subscription? in
We are, so
January?
in
Okay, good.
January, we're going to put in the front cover, that you have to opt in if you want you to get it. We'll do that for January and February, and then in March, we will start acting on that.
You'll
And we're
always-
also going to, we'll have, an information table there, information, about pick it, if you can pick it up, kind of
Okay.
as you come into the senior center or whatever, because,
Sure.
And just to point of clarification, advertisement pays for some of the printing, and the Friends pay for the rest, the town pays nothing.
now the town is, the Friends are only paying, I looked at the invoice,
Yeah.
they're only paying for
Right.
the postage, it's not for the printing.
But the printing is paid for by the advertisements in the thing.
Right.
But I
The
saw
point
them,
is, the town does not send a check.
oh, no, the
Yeah.
town doesn't do
No,
that.
I don't think anybody
But
thought they.
I did find out that a lot of other towns only send it out on a limited basis.
Mm-hmm.
There's some towns that don't send mail in at all. And still they have sufficient advertising to cover the cost of the printing. So I don't see that as an
Right.
obstacle.
Right, and I think you
You know.
did say you spoke with the gentleman last month and he didn't think it would be too big of a problem.
Yeah, yeah. he
Okay,
seems to think
all right,
it's
we're good.
nice.
All right, so we're on target for that,
Yeah.
which will help. But currently,
Oh, great.
that will be one of our services that you will indicate in June, how many go out. So
Yeah.
services, the newsletter, how many does it reach? What's the cost and who pays?
Okay, so include that with the program.
Yeah, well, that's one of the services that are provided by the senior center.
Carol, do you think we could ever get to a point where we could just email it out, a link?
Well, that's
Or-
why
or
I'm
attach
started.
PDF or
Oh,
something.
you missed the, so at the beginning, I was talking about, we started a weekly newsletter that we're emailing out to people. So it's also to get feelers out and start thinking about that, like just emailing it out to people, because I think over time, more and more people are gonna be open to that. It's,
Currently not, though, I will tell you, because under the, as a Shine volunteer, now if you are signing into the Medicare.gov website in order to, pick your plans for next year, they are now requiring email addresses to create accounts, and they also have the second level of security where they text or email you security codes when you're creating. It's unique. It can't, couples can't share the same one. And it is problematic for many people that I've been counseling of, I won't even say older, because there are some late 60s, early 70s people who say, I don't use technology at all, right? And then I have a 90-year-old who does. So it's difficult. So that can't be the only way. And what we're finding we have to do is anonymous searches, manually enter everything, and then know it doesn't get saved. It's a problem if we, until everybody has a chip in their head and they can just get things filled out.
So you're saying, don't assume everybody's using, no.
Right, or, is capable of, yes.
but that doesn't
All
mean
right.
you need to think mail to their house.
I want to say one word.
I don't think I've gotten that.
No, I think,
No, you have to sign up. We only did it 1 week, so if you want to sign up, I'll add your name.
Carol,
Yeah.
I signed up,
Yes.
I signed up, I didn't see anything. When did you send it out?
I sent it out last Friday, so if you didn't get it, let me check your email.
Yeah,
I'll check your email. It was-
because I read my emails every morning.
Right, that was the email,
Did you look in your spam?
No, I didn't.
Look in your spam, because that could be.
All the other ones come to me.
all right, so moving on, so, for our next meeting, we're gonna spend most of our time dissecting what Carol is going to very nicely have for us as far as the internal assessment. It's a short time period between now and our next meeting, because this month we're a week late. So I don't necessarily, unless somebody thinks we should, I wouldn't want to add anything else other than the discussion on that. There's not gonna be any vote or anything, because this is just what we are doing now. We can have a discussion about whether we think we should continue, but it's really just going to be what we are currently providing and how we're doing it. And any update you have on the overall budget in the future. I mean, this is today's budget, not what's happening.
What is the date of the next meeting?
Well, it would be, our next meeting goes back to the second Tuesday, so that would be the 9th, right? Yeah, so, right. I mean, unless we want to move it to the 6th, keep it on the 3rd Tuesday for the month of December.
I think getting closer to at least, I know Hanukkah, I think it's earlier this month, so I don't know if that's not probably causing a problem for anyone, but the closer you get to Christmas, I think.
All right, so we'll leave it on, all right, we'll leave it on the 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, Carol's do as much as you can for
Yeah,
that, that's
yeah.
fine. All right, so we'll leave it on the 9th. And then, I mean, January, it's the 13th. Maybe at our next meeting, we'll talk about whether the 13th is a longer meeting or we change it to a totally different day. And make it, a couple hours or something to do our SWOT.
I may have jury duty for the next meeting, so I may either be late or whatever, so I just would ask someone else.
Then on the 9th, well, you could watch the video and do it.
All
All right, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. All right, that's it.
I don't show it, that's why.
Okay,
She's trying to kill you.
all right. Does anybody have any old or new business? Does anybody want to talk anymore, or want to entertain a motion to adjourn? So moved. Do I hear a second? Okay, all those in favor? All right, Carol's gonna turn off the, thing and, put it on the calendar.
How big our audience is?
Not until it's 3.
You haven't been asked for one?
And-
No.